September baseball time for the Minnesota Twins, and it matters. Take a look at those wild card standings. Just one game for the top wild card spot separates the Twins and the Yankees, and they've got a game-and-a-half lead on their closest competitor, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Minnesota, in a great spot as it's Labor Day baseball. 3 straight games with their division rivals, the Kansas City Royals. And Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by State Farm. It certainly feels like fall, cool temperatures greet the Twins as they try to stay red hot. They've won 7 consecutive games in this stadium, and they take on a Royals team who, frankly, has struggled of late. Let's take a look at our series setup for the Twins and the Royals. This 3-game set this Labor Day weekend before the Twins head on the road. Minnesota, in August to remember, 20-11 in the month of August. It's their second 20-win month under Paul Maudem, just the second time since 1991 that they've accomplished that feat. They've been good against the Royals in this stadium. 5-1 against Kansas City this year at Target Field, scoring over 7 runs a game. They've outscored the Royals 37-18. And the Royals' bats have gone cold. They're just 1-6 in their last 7 games, scoring 11 runs in that stretch. In fact, they went through a stretch of baseball with 40-plus innings without a run. So maybe it's the right time to be playing Kansas City in a special day for Twins. All-time saves leader Joe Nathan. He signed a 1-year contract and got to throw out the first pitch. Paul Molitor spoke earlier today in the dugout about what a great honor it is that he wanted to come back and retire a Minnesota Twin out there with his family throwing the ceremonial first pitch tonight. Great to see Joe Nathan back in a Twins uniform. Youth has been rising, even with the injuries. The young players have taken center stage when we come back. Dick Kramer and LaTroy Hawkins with what's keeping the Twins going with these young stars as they surge into September.
All on Fox Sports North is presented by Toyota. The national clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. After sweeping the Chicago White Sox tonight from Target Field, the Twins open up a new series against another American League Central opponent, the Kansas City Royals. Twins will take their fourth look at Jason Hamill, and former Royal Dylan G will make the start for the Minnesota Twins. Good Friday evening to you from Target Field. Dick Kramer along with LaTroy Hawkins. It is now September, and this is a meaningful game. This is what we've been waiting for. And one of the things we've been waiting for in recent years, some of the young talent that the Twins have figuring some things out seemingly at the same time.
Well, it's great to see the young talent that we have taking a step forward. Last year we talked about the 103 season. They took a step back, but now they're swinging at good pitches. They're giving us good quality at bats. They're swinging at the pitches, at pitchers' mistakes, and not swinging at pitchers' good pitches. They're making guys pay when they make mistakes to them. They're putting good swings on the ball. They're working the count. They're drawing their walks. They're doing all the things that they need to do to be successful. Rosario, Polanco, and Buxton, they've been just fresh air for the offense, and the older guys don't have to carry all the load.
Yeah, and you're looking at a 25-year-old, a 24-year-old, and a 23-year-old in descending order on that chart. It's been a wonderful month of August, the most wins in the month of August in Twins history, the most number of home runs in August for a Minnesota Twins ball club. But the bottom number is probably the most important. This team pitched pretty well in August, and they'll need to pitch that well or even better in September if they want to play in October. First game with the Royals coming up in a moment. To left, Garcia back, gone, he's over from both sides of the plate, and that one's tattooed to left, into the second deck, high fly, deep right center field, there goes another one, it is gone, a 9-run first inning, this ball's got some carry, it's gone, Rosario with his second of the game. One of the perplexing things about this year's Twins team is their seeming inability to win at home. They've taken care of that lately. They've won 7 straight. They're 11-4 at Target Field in the last month, and they'll hope to carry over that good play here at home into September and then hopefully into October.
Well, I don't think they like that home cooking early in the season, but they're starting to warm up to it, enjoy what they're getting at home, and they're playing well.
And Ned Yost had his team playing really well through July, but a disastrous August. As good as the Twins were in August, the Royals were just as bad. So they find themselves in a situation here where they almost have to sweep the Twins to reemerge as a contender. The Menards batting order: Whit Merrifield, Lorenzo Cain, Melky Cabrera, Eric Hosmer, Salvador Perez, Mike Moustakas, Jorge Bonifacio, Brandon Moss, and Alcides Escobar. Facing right-hander Dylan G in the rotation. He's been both a long reliever and a starter for the Twins, starting against the team that he was pitching for last year. First pitch up and in, ball one. An otherwise disappointing year offensively for the Royals. Whit Merrifield has emerged as one of their better hitters, and he opens the ball game rolling a single to center field. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Eddie Rosario is in left, and Zach Granite in center, and Max Kepler in right. Granite in center in place of Byron Buxton. We might see Buxton out there by game's end, in fact. And then Escobar, Polanco, Dozier, Mauer, the infielders, and Mitch Garver behind the plate. Lorenzo Cain hitting second for the Royals. Granted, the sample size is small, but G, as a Twin, has a whip, walk and hit per inning pitched, of 1.015, which is very good.
Well, G's one of those guys that he's going to throw a lot of strikes. I think the key for him is throwing quality strikes, and that's pitching to the corners, because when you're over the middle of the plate, that's when you get hurt in the big leagues.
Less than a hit per inning pitch, just 3 walks. Kept the ball in the ballpark for the most part. 1-1 to Cain.
Just 4 pitches, fastball, cutter.
That was a breaking ball and gets a weak swing. 1-2.
That was that cutter I was just mentioning, and nice curveball, very good changeup. And the thing about Dylan, he can throw any of those pitches at any time, so he's not predictable, and that's key to his success since he's been in the major leagues.
That's down the right field line, a foul ball, and no play with the ball landing on the warning track. From Kansas City, G signed a deal with the Texas Rangers, and he pitched a little bit with the Rangers earlier this year, and the numbers weren't that bad. They weren't good, but the Rangers had some other pitching issues, and it was kind of surprising that they got rid of Dylan G. The Twins picked him up. Spent a lot of time in Rochester, and he could be an important arm for the Twins in September.
When we think about Dylan and how he can be used in September, and if we get a chance to play in October, I think it would be the long relief situation in the bullpen. You know, if the starter doesn't go out there and go 5, 6 innings, he'll be that bridge to the late inning guys.
Made 9 starts for the Rangers. Two and two now to Cain with Melky Cabrera on deck. Tapper toward short. Polanco steps on the bag, fires. Mauer with a foot on the bag completes the double play. That's Kent Herbeck's old couch potato play there, with his right foot on the bag and lunging toward the outfield to make the catch.
You know, first pitch cutter to him, you know, change up. That was a very good 93-mile-an-hour fastball down in the zone away. Made Low King just stick his bat out, ground ball to Polanco, tailor-made double play.
2 down, base is empty, and now Melky Cabrera. Ball 1. The month of July for the Royals so encouraging. Remember, they and the Indians took off on long winning streaks when the Twins were struggling on their West Coast road trip at the end of the month, 1-1. They went out and added pitchers and a position player, a veteran like Melky Cabrera, got him from the White Sox. Inside, 2-1. Cabrera's actually not done much against the Twins this year when he was with the White Sox, but he hits one into the right field corner, down for a hit, and he'll head for second with a 2-out double. So the double play started by Polanco, looming large here with the ensuing double.
It's a 2-1 fastball right there. Looked like just over the middle of the plate, down, right along his swing pattern. Well, changeup. Just got him out front just a little bit. He was able to stay back and drill that ball into the right field corner for a stand-up double.
He's hit 300 against the Twins in his career, but with the White Sox was just 6 for 36. And now here's Eric Hosmer, and he's put together a very fine year. This is perhaps his final year with the Royals. Inside, ball one. You look at the season numbers put up by Merrifield, Kane, Cabrera, although he's new to them, Hosmer, Perez, Moustakas. It's hard to imagine this Kansas City team just a few days ago had gone 45 innings without scoring a run. See Hosmer third in the league in hitting.
45 innings without scoring a run.
The major league record is 48. They came that close to setting a record.
And when was that record? When was the 48 straight innings? Ooh, that had to be a very, very long time ago.
I think, if I remember right, it was back in the 40s.
Wow. And you think that's just so incomprehensible because of the talent that they have on this team and the way these guys score runs and they hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Well, he's got a base open, but he's got a Twins wrecker in Salvador Perez on deck. 3-0 to Hosmer.
Very careful right here. Got a base open. Righty on righty matchup on deck.
And a strike. Hosmer was ready to flip the bat away and take a walk. 3-1. Hosmer's hit well against the Twins this year. Royals owned the Twins in the season series the last 3 years, but now the Twins have the advantage, having won 8 of the 12 games. 3-1. And there is ball 4. G has faced 4 batters and retired only 1. And that'll bring up Salvador Perez. Perez has really enjoyed hitting Twins pitching this year. He typically does, but he's hitting .386 against the Twins with 5 home runs. But since he's come back from the disabled list, his bat has cooled considerably. Just 4 hits in 26 at bats. No swing, ball 1. There are his numbers against Twins pitching. Remember, the Twins started the season by sweeping the Royals in the opening series of the year here at Target Field in early April.
You can definitely say the Royals are a team that has played good in spurts so far this season.
Dozier catches the line drive. There are 2 men left aboard in a scoreless first inning. Give up a run in the first inning. And Paul Molitor with a much improved team, and that's reflected in many ways, including the record within the division. The Menards batting order has Brian Dozier leading off, then Joe Mauer, Jorge Polanco, Eddie Rosario, Eduardo Escobar, Max Kepler, Mitch Garver, Kenny Vargas, and Zach Granite. Facing right-hander Jason Hamill in his first year with the Royals. And his numbers are up a bit in part because he struggled in his 3 prior starts against the Twins. And his Royals debut here at Target Field against the Twins on April 6th. Had some control issues, 4 walks in 5 innings. Then in Kansas City lasted just 3 innings. Gave up 5 earned runs, and then most recently on July 1st, 7 runs allowed in 5 1/3 innings. And Dozier goes after the high fastball, strike 1.
Jason Hamill's 90-97 career win-loss record, 4.45 career ERA, 332 games, his 275th game started tonight.
To center, Kane watching it go, and off the very top of the wall. And Dozier with a leadoff double. To straightaway center field, and yet another ball that hit the very top of the fence. And Paul Molitor may ask for a crew chief review.
So get me over breaking ball right there, and Dozier was right on it.
Dozier hit one to right field here the other day, and it hit inches from clearing the wall. There was one here yesterday that was a 1/4 inch from going over the wall in right center field.
And all those guys in the dugout screaming, "No pop!"
Yeah,
no pop.
Exactly. A leadoff double, and now Mauer. Got a fastball up, fouled it straight back. One thing that's changed since we've seen Hamill most recently in early July, he's pitching exclusively from the stretch. Now, as I recall, you did that in your career, but most of your career was spent as a relief pitcher.
Correct.
You don't see starters do this very often.
Well, Hamill's and pitcher just got traded to LA. Jesus. But anyway, I mean, when I went to the bullpen, I didn't think it was smart to try to, you know, maintain 2 mechanics, one from the windup, one from the stretch. So let's just simplify it. Let me try to perfect one and just forget about the other.
1-1 to Mauer. You talking about Yu Darvish?
Yu Darvish, yes, and he's been doing it since maybe his 2nd start over here, just going predominantly from the stretch.
Hit hard to center, and Kane's able to make that catch. Dozier scrambled back to second, trying for third, and he's in there. A great base running play by Brian Dozier. That ball was hit on a line to Kane, and Dozier at the last instant had to retouch and then sprint to third.
Well, it's just good base running, good smart baseball by Dozier. He saw the ball was hit so hard. He saw where Kane was going to had to go back on the ball, knew he wouldn't be able to get a lot on that throw, and he took a chance and he made it.
So now the Royals, because of the advancement to third, have to bring the infield in for Polanco. I can tell you right now, James Rowson's happy with the early approach here. Twins hitting 2 balls hard right up the middle, not trying to pull the ball. And we'll see what Polanco can get done here with the Twins trying to score the first run.
Well, that's the key, you know, for hitters. You make it easy for pitchers when we know you're going to hit the ball just to one side of the field. That makes it easy for a pitcher, but what makes it tough is when we understand that you spray the ball all over the field, left field, right field, center field. It doesn't matter where you pitch it, you know, you're going to hit the ball where it's pitched. And that makes it just a little bit, that puts a little bit more, you know, stress on the pitcher, knowing that you're not afraid to shoot that ball, being a left-hand hitter, shoot that ball in left field if it's away from you.
1-1 to Polanco. You would have gotten long odds a month ago if someone wanted to bet you that a month later, now on September 1st, we would see Polanco hitting 3rd in the order, 4th in the order. And he's hitting there because he deserves to hit there. He's been hitting and producing a lot of damage.
Well, he's definitely one of the hot guys in this lineup right now, and Molly's putting him in positions where he can do the most damage and do the most help for this lineup. When you have guys on base, and he's been, the month of August, he had 23 RBIs. Rosario had 25, and Buxton had 22 RBIs, and combined 23 home runs between the 3 of those guys. That's a lot of production from 3 guys that you hadn't been getting a lot of production from, but you're getting some from Rosario, but the other 2 guys.
A drive to right center field. He has done it again. Home run number 10. And this one did not come against the White Sox. And it ended up in the second deck.
That's just a very good swing on another get me over breaking ball right there by Hamels. And if you've been watching Polanco's tape, those breaking balls that are coming into him, he hasn't missed many of those over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
In Hamels' last start, he retired the first 16 batters. Here tonight in the first inning, he's given up 3 straight rockets. And now Eddie Rosario. Taken low, ball 1. Rosario 4 hits, 6 at bats against Hamel.
Polanco's home run upper deck estimated 412 feet. He's all smiles.
It's down the left field line. Melky Cabrera with no play. And Cabrera gets up. He's okay, thankfully. And the count to Rosario now 1-1.
You can add to Polanco's home run total. 7 home runs now and 25 RBIs. He just matched Rosario 25 RBIs. And their little hot streak from RPB. Rosario, Polanco, Buxton.
See, now I'm a little bit older than you, but back in the day, we would have called it PBR. There was a beer out there. Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Oh,
PBR.
right.
So we just moved the initials around a little bit.
Yeah, just got to finagle it just a little bit.
1-2 to Rosario. Inside 2-2. And so far, the month of September looking an awful lot like the month of August.
And that pitch right there, that 1-2 pitch from Hamels to Rosario, that shows you how he's grown as a hitter over the last 2 months. Because early in the season, he was swinging right over top of that slider, swinging at the pitcher's pitch. Now he's waiting for his pitch.
And now 3-2.
It's another very good take by him. So now you put the pitcher in a position where he has to throw a strike because you hadn't swung at the pitches in the dirt.
Full count to Rosario.
Come on, Rosie.
Beaten foul over by Kevin Gord, who showed no range at all. A 2-hopper hit almost directly at him.
Gore, you eat with those hands?
3-2 to Rosario. Foul tip, and Perez hangs on. 2 away. And that'll bring up Eduardo Escobar. Royals have some issues, but not out on the field. They're still awfully good. Brought to you by Northland Ford. Melky Cabrera in left, Lorenzo Cain in center, Jorge Bonifacio in right. They're playing without Alex Gordon, the Gold Glove winning left fielder because he's struggling so much at the plate. Moustakas, Escobar, Merrifield, Hosmer really good in the infield, and Moustakas and Hosmer both free agents. We'll have to wait and see whether they'll be back with the Royals again next year. And of course, Salvador Perez behind the plate. Rolled foul wide of first. Escobar getting another start at third base, and we may see him there more often than not throughout the month because Miguel Sano is still slow in recovering from his stress reaction. And then at least at the start of his activity, once he rejoins the 25-man roster, we would expect him to do a lot of DHing. Popped up, and Moustakas will chase it. Cabrera will chase it, and it will land harmlessly on the warning track.
Hosmer and Moustakas. Hosmer 318, 22 and 76. Moustakas 275, 35 and 78. I think they're looking at a very, very big payday come this offseason. Both are outstanding in the field. So they bring in the defense, offense, and just great clubhouse guys. It's the recipe you're looking for when you're trying to sign a free agent.
2 strikes to Escobar. Just missed inside. To short center. Kane comes in a few steps to put it away and end the inning. But a double and a home run. And the home run came from Jorge Polanco again. And it's 2-0. Putting the Twins up 2-0 after 1, and the Cub Fan Express winners are having a great time. Go to enterpromo.com/Cub for a chance to ride the Fan Express to a Twins game this season. And Mike Moustakas will lead off the second inning against Dylan G. Gave up a couple of hits and a walk, but pitched a scoreless first inning. Up around the hands, ball 1.
It's kind of odd first inning for Dylan G. He didn't have one first pitch strike. 9 strikes, 19 total pitches.
That's down the line and foul by about 3 feet, 1-1. You never know how players are going to react to impending free agency. Some players handle it well, some players don't. Moustakas has. He's on the verge of setting the Kansas City record for home runs in a season. He's got 35. The record is 36 by Steve Balboni, and he's got a month yet to play. 2-1. Hosmer's having a very solid year. They'll both get a lot of money, and for the Royals it might be the case of being able to afford one but not both.
Well, I don't like to spend other people's money, but both these guys are homegrown talent. You don't see that, you don't see that often. They came through the minor league system. They've won in the minor. They won in the big leagues. They won a World Series in 2015. I can't say, well, why don't you just pay these guys? But I'm sure the Royals ownership are going to do all they can to keep both these guys in a Kansas City Royals uniform.
3-1 to Moustakas, and now there are 3 infielders on the right side of the infield. Foul back 3-2. Even before they started winning, we made comparisons to Herbeck and Gaetti here with the Twins in the early 80s, and ultimately the Twins kept one but had to let the other one go. Gary Gaetti signed as a free agent. Actually spent a couple of years playing for the Kansas City Royals.
It's a lot more money out there now.
Yeah, that's true. Full count to Moustakas, and a swing and a miss. G gets his first strikeout. 1 down, and somewhere here at Target Field without a glove on apparently is Kevin Gord.
I've been tested with the reflexes down here. It's time for our car scoop from the clubhouse. We'll start with Byron Buxton's left hand. Only bruised, as Dick talked about. He could come out as a pinch runner or a defensive replacement. We will see him, Molitor said, at some point this weekend. Not as good a news on Miguel Sano. Dick also mentioned that. Still has the boot on. Slow progress. Molitor said when he comes back, we want him to be able to contribute and stay in the lineup. So we're going to take our time and make sure we get it right. Better news with Jason Castro. He in the last 2 days has been in the cage hitting and caught a bullpen. And he said from talking to him that he should be back in the next couple of days. And that is certainly great news. The Twins certainly have some depth, guys. Without these key players, they continue to win.
And it might be, Kevin, that the team that ends up getting into the postseason, at least on the wild card side of things, will be the team that somehow is fortunate enough to stay healthy. And to that end, tough news for the Rangers, because Adrian Beltre's done for the year with a hamstring pull last night. And it looks like he won't be able to help the Rangers get to the postseason. If they should get there, he might be able to help. Swing and a miss, and G backs up 1 strikeout with another. 2 down.
I love the approach that we're taking with Sano. Taking it, make it slow. A slow process. It's not imperative that he gets rushed back into the lineup, because we have the young guys. We have different guys producing each and every night, and that doesn't put a lot of stress on him or the training staff to get him back on the field.
Brandon Moss, the batter, with 2 down. Pitch is up and in, ball 1.
Beltre, he's had that hamstring, a bad hamstring, I think pretty much his whole career.
Yeah, he was limping through the playoffs last year. Yeah, 2-0.
And 2015.
Adrian Beltre, the subject of our Sanford Health injury report, a grade 2 left hamstring strain, out a minimum of 4 weeks. And he had some foot and ankle problems earlier this year. Outside now 3-0 to Brandon Moss with Alcides Escobar on deck. G came back from a 3-ball count to strike out Moustakas to start the inning. And a strike, 3-1. Moss signed to pretty much replace Kendrys Morales, and he's hit 17 home runs, 4 of them against the Twins. And a foul, and it's 3-2. Morales, by the way, hit 3 home runs for the Blue Jays in last night's game and win over the Orioles.
It's getting hot.
That game scoreless. Tonight's game between Toronto and Baltimore scoreless, top of the 5th inning at Camden Yards. Full count from G. Great stop at first by Mauer. We see it night in and night out. Gold Glove caliber defense at first base. should win a Gold Glove this year at first base. You're watching Twins baseball presented by State Farm, and he may end up hitting over 300 as well. Max Kepler will lead off the second for the Twins against Jason Hamill. And Kepler's had good success against Hamill. 5 hits, 7 at bats. One strike. And now a ball.
Standing around the cage today doing batting practice and watching Kepler shoot that ball, back up the middle and shoot that ball to left field. So he's working on some things, which is, going to open it up, like I spoke about earlier. Using the whole field and not just relegating yourself to, the first base side of the field. You get a lot of hits from center field over to left field.
And James Rowson deserves some credit. So too does Tom Bernansky. Tom Bernansky also part of the process in improving these inexperienced hitters into. There's a ball to left field, and Kepler's aboard with a leadoff hit. He's now 6 for 8 against Jason Hamill. Big turn at first. He'll hold up with a single. And that'll bring up Mitch Garver.
It's a high fastball right there. He didn't try to do too much with it, just dumped it over the third baseman's head over to left field for a single. That's great hitting right there by Kepler.
Kind of pushed that ball from the trademark out toward right field. And Kepler primarily a pull hitter, but he picked up a hit to the opposite field, and now here's Mitch Garver.
If you do that enough, they can't put the shift on you.
Right. Garver takes a strike. Garver, a bit of an oddity so far this year, at least. He's got 2 triples before he's hit a double.
And a home run.
Not too many catchers do that. 1 strike.
Sunday in
a high fly to center field. Kane drifting back. And Kepler will advance and then stop before the throw from Kane right on target to the second base bag. 1 away. That'll bring up Kenny Vargas. Stretch it out at Target Field. Yoga night coming up Wednesday, September 6th. The event features a 1-hour on the field yoga class taught by Core Power. The event tickets include a Twins branded yoga mat, Twins game tickets, and a donation to the Twins Community Fund. Get your tickets today at twinsbaseball.com/yoga. Of course, I threatened to do that, be a part of that, but then it never occurred to me that that's necessarily when we're on the road, so I can't be there. I'm going to be in St. Petersburg. Actually, by the time they have the class, I believe we'll be on our way to Kansas City.
Well, they have great Bikram yoga in St. Petersburg, so you won't miss it.
Okay,
you go do that. Bikram yoga is the yoga when they turn the heat up over 100, and you stretch and sweat.
Yeah,
all that good stuff. Yeah, it's a good time.
I'm telling you, I may get into yoga this way. I'm serious.
I'm seriously thinking about it too.
1 strike to Vargas, the designated hitter.
I was in the clubhouse in the training room, and Leo, one of our trainers, he's told me I need to sign a contract and start back playing baseball. Said he's seen me more in the training room since I retired than I did when I was playing. I said, yeah, because I had guys like you keeping me healthy.
1 strike to Vargas.
Get out, ball.
Behind or near third base, and Moustakas makes the catch. Most of the bat ended up behind the Twins dugout.
And we like to say a grown man hit that ball.
And I think everybody is okay.
It's a good fastball. Hamill's up in the zone. Vargas wasn't able to get to it. Shattered his bat. Weak pop up to Moustakas over at third base in foul territory.
We'll bring up Zach Granite. Granite with another start in center field in the place of Byron Buxton. And Kepler back to the bag. Paul Molitor talking to Mark Wegner, claiming that Hamill is walking.
Let's key in on that.
Kepler 5 steals and 6 tries. Long hold, and Granite takes inside, ball 1.
Definitely didn't see anything right there that would indicate that Hamill's balking.
You can balk toward first base. You can also balk toward home plate if you don't stop. And I'm not sure what the issue was that Paul saw. Slap foul, and it's 1-1.
He went a little quicker right there, changing up his times home so the runner can't time him, get a good jump. But I didn't see anything that he was trying to deceive the runner illegally.
One and one to the Twin center fielder. Inside, Granite check, almost stepped into it, and it's 2-1. And Paul Molitor giving signs from the dugout to Gene Glenn, back across the diamond to Kepler. See if the Twins sent Kepler on this 2-1 pitch. Nope. And another foul, 2-2. I want to pass along happy 70th anniversary to Jim and Margaret Hipsch of Perham, Minnesota. 70 years together.
70 years together.
Now, how many you got?
Why you put me on the spot, Richard, on television, man? That's messed up. I got 16.
All right, and I got 25. That's the point. Together, you and I only have 41.
No, wow. They got 70.
Just off the corner. It's 3-2, and now Kepler will take off. Angels and Rangers are tied at 2, top of the second inning. And I guess right now, if you're a Twins fan, you want the Rangers to beat the Angels. That might change in a few days. Kepler goes, and Granite fouls it back. You know, one of the great things about the 2 wild card format with so many teams involved in it, it makes the whole regular season interesting. I mean, the Twins are ahead of the Rangers right now, primarily because the games the Twins played against the Rangers very early in the season, the Twins won a lot of those games. That's the difference. Those games back in April and May. Kepler goes again, a little dribbler, and Hamill flips and nearly flipped it over the head of Hosmer. Granite retired. The Twins are done in the second. Bottom line is the Twins right now are sitting in the second wild card slot as September begins. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. The Twins version of Friday Night Lights in September with Dylan G pitching a couple of shutout innings and a 2-0 lead. He'll pitch to Alcides Escobar, leading off the Kansas City third. Breaking ball sweeping over for strike one.
That was Dylan's 36th pitch, 19 strikes. We were talking about, you said that was the couple's 70th wedding anniversary.
The ball hit to left. Going back is Rosario, leaping, can't make the play. The carom hits him, and Escobar will go to second with a double. He reached up for it, didn't make the contact with the ball, and then it made contact with him.
Well, that ball bouncing off the wall, hitting Rosario, kept it from bouncing back into play. Just a hanging breaking ball right there from Dylan G, and Escobar was right on it, drilled it off the left field wall. It was a great try by Rosario. Escobar stand-up double. Just missed that ball. Baseball is a game of inches. We're talking about the couple that had 70 years together, and Gary and Jane Baggett, good friends of mine. Gary was a bullpen security guard for me and the rest of my teammates in the Metrodome. They live in Stillwater, and Jane just texted me and said, Daddy B and I have 59 years together. Wow. She said we still like each other. I love it. So congrats, Mama Jane and Daddy B.
Whit Merrifield taking a strike. He singled up the middle and then was doubled off the bases in Cain's at bat.
With Dylan G, when he gets hurt, it's when he gets the ball elevated in the strike zone. When he's down in the zone, he's very, very tough to hit. And when they do make contact, it's on the ground.
Two strikes to Whit Merrifield.
Whit Merrifield.
Fouled away. The Royals, of course, have to decide who they want to re-sign and who they want to let go, and all the while looking for the next wave of Hosmers, Moustakases, Cains, people like that. This guy looks like I don't know whether he's got any company, but he looks like he's going to be a really good player for the Royals for a long time. Two strikes.
No, he's a very good player. He came up 2 years ago. He's one of those guys, great defense, and he has some power. Doesn't look like he's that big of a guy, but good swing, and when you make a mistake to him, he's able to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
He's 28 years old.
Whit Merrifield. Very cool name.
And he's only got about 600 big league at bats. Two strikes. Bouncer to second. It'll advance the runner. Dozier flips to Mauer, one down, and Escobar goes to third.
Great piece of hitting by Whit Merrifield right there. Hit the ball to the right side of the field so Escobar can advance to third base.
And now Lorenzo Cain hit a ground ball near the second base bag, scooped up by Polanco, who stepped on the bag through to first to get the double play. Middle infielders back, and Escobar and Mauer kind of playing in between. And now Mauer backpedaling as we speak. Foul down the right side, one strike.
Low Cain.
And we'll throw him in the class of free agents hitting the market this winter.
Very good athlete. He was with me in 2010 with the Milwaukee Brewers, and I walk into spring training, they had our lockers next to each other. And I was like, whoa, in spring training you're supposed to be next to pitchers. Why do you guys have him next to me?
Up the middle and a base hit. That'll score Escobar, and it's a 2-1 ball game. And now Melky Cabrera, who doubled his last time up. Cabrera hit well for the Royals, his new team, hitting nearly 300. Has already hit 3 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Part of the White Sox purge that began last year in the offseason. Getting rid of Adam Eaton, Chris Sale during the winter. That's chased in center by Granite, and he won't get there. It'll go all the way to the wall. Kane to third. He'll be waved around. He'll score the tying run, and Cabrera has a pair of doubles, and it's 2 apiece.
Cabrera's always been a steady player, you know, putting up numbers, and you know, this pitch right here, just hit it where it was pitched. Middle away. He didn't try to do too much with it. Didn't try to spin off of it and pull it, you know, to right field. Took that ball right over the to the left of Zach Granite. He could not run the baseball. Another stand-up double for the night and an RBI for Melky Cabrera.
5 hits already for the Royals. G has walked 1 man, 3 hits this inning. And now Eric Hosmer, who drew the walk. Royals got 2 hits and a walk in the first, didn't score. And now 2 doubles and a single to score a couple of runs here in the third.
A lot of those pitches, you know, on the base hits are, you know, right over the middle of the plate, whether it was a breaking ball or fastball. They've been center cut.
Inside ball 1. Talking about Cabrera and him being dealt by the White Sox to another team within the division, but there's been an awful lot of talent that has moved out of the American League Central, including a couple of big moves yesterday made by the Tigers. Justin Upton dealt to the Angels. Justin Verlander to the Houston Astros.
And you said earlier there are no more Uptons in, in Detroit.
No Uptons in Detroit anymore. Justin's gone, and Kate won't be there either when we go to Detroit next. Hosmer with something in his eye, I believe.
You know, a lot of the Houston Astros players were, you know, not bad-mouthing the front office for not making a move at the deadline, and you know, they were disgruntled about it, and you know, I guess the front office took heed to what they were talking about and what they had to say, and they went out and made a big splash. Verlander's a big, that's a big fish.
Angels also got Brandon Phillips from the Braves.
Another steady year for Brandon. Just had a 2000 major league hit the other day.
But trying to relate all of this to fans in Twins territory, just think of all the top flight talent that's left the American League Central recently, and then we talk about the Royals, and you know, somebody's going to leave Kansas City, whether it's Hosmer, Moustakas, or Kane. I mean, they're not going to be able to keep them all. So the complexion of the division,
I'm not upset about it,
coinciding with this young group of players that the Twins are seeing develop in front of our very eyes. I mean, the complexion of this division could change, and it already has, I guess, rather dramatically.
Well, it could sway towards the Twins, but we still have the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah.
And the White Sox have some pretty good young players over there as well.
Hosmer draws another walk, and for the second straight time, it didn't appear G was too interested in throwing one down the plate, down the middle to Hosmer. And here comes Neil Allen. Only 1 out in the inning. Perez came up and hit a line drive to Dozier to end the first inning. And already a phone call with G struggling to throw strikes. 50 pitches for Dylan G and only 29 strike. You can do the math. That's a strike percentage of 58.
13 hitters faced, only 5 first pitch strikes.
The preferred role, until he proves otherwise, for G and the Twins pitching staff right now is that of long relief, where you can get, you hope, 3 innings of effective relief. And the concern is what hitters do against that pitcher second and third time they face him. Well, we're in the middle of the second time through the order here right now. Tyler Duffy getting loose in a tie game.
Yes, and that's what ultimately, relegates a guy to the bullpen. How he does against the lineup the second and third time. And I'll raise my hand because that second and third time around, if I got to it, it was pretty rough. It's not easy navigating through a lineup, major league lineup.
To left center field. Granite over, making the catch, throwing to second base, and Dozier trying to stretch and catch the ball at the same time. He almost pulled it off. I think they had Cabrera doubled off second base. 2 down and a near double play.
It's a good fastball in right here to, oh yeah, got in on him. He felt like he just missed that pitch. Salvador was popping himself in the head because he thought he should have got more of that ball. Richard, Zach Granite reminds me of Jock Jones throwing from the outfield. He reminds me of Jock.
Strike over the inside corner to Mike Moustakas. 1 strike. Fouled away, 2 strikes.
So I'm guessing you want to know, was that a good thing or a bad thing? No, they just look alike throwing from the outfield.
Right.
They just look alike. Both lefties.
Right.
Play multiple positions out there and coming from the left side. Neither one have bazookas, that's for sure.
0-2 to Moustakas. Popped up, and it's back and out of play.
I'll be getting a text from Jock Jones soon about that.
Jock played some center here, primarily
Right
corner
field.
outfielder, right fielder.
What I like about Zach Granite, he's so confident. This year, the Twins Fest, when he got his minor league player of the year award, he went up there, he took the mic from you, and he rocked it. I mean, he was funny. Then he was sincere about how hard he's gonna work and continue to work, and he talked about his family, coming from a family of teachers, and baseball didn't work out, he's going to be a teacher. Just pretty cool to hear the kid talk, doing in front of a lot of people at the banquet, and be funny and witty on the mic.
And then backed it up. That's the most important thing. He backed it up with a phenomenal year at AAA. And now Garver and G will have a chat. G with a start in Chicago against the White Sox. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run on a home run. It was his first win as a starter since August of last year with Kansas City. And a shorter start against Toronto. 7 hits, 4 runs, couple of home runs.
Garber and G discussed what they wanted to do with Moustakas right here, 1-2. They opt to go in back at his back foot or away.
Another nice dig by Garver, and it's 2-2.
Opted for the changeup down. See that good hard cutter that G has, getting up under Moustakas' swing. But I always like to say bury it at his back foot. Strike the ball.
2-2 to the Royals' third baseman. Hit deep to right. And gone. Moustakas has tied the franchise record for home runs in a season with his 36th. And it comes with 2 men aboard, and it's a 5-run inning.
That wasn't a pitch right there.
A 3-run home run.
It's a fastball right down the middle, right where Moustakas is swinging. And look where Garver sets up right here. Sets up away. And I'll talk about when the catcher sets up away and he has to reach across his body for that ball. It lets you know it's over the middle of the plate.
Way out in front of the breaking ball. Bonifacio struck out his first time up, and now strike 1. 17 games in a row against the Twins he's gotten a hit. This one's a big one, putting the Royals up by 3. And again, here they are. They've struck for 5 runs this inning, and they went 45 innings without scoring 1 run.
That's a head scratcher, because we look at all the home runs, the RBIs that a lot of these guys have. You would think in 45 innings, one of those guys would break through and, you know, knock a ball out of the ballpark.
Eventually it was Whit Merrifield who hit a home run. 1-2 now to Bonifacio. As the Royals have taken a 3-run lead here, the Rangers have taken a 3-run lead against the Angels. It's 5-2, bottom of the 2nd. The Red Sox lead the Yankees by 3 runs. And G really struggling to try to wrap things up here in the 3rd inning. I doubt that he'll be given another hitter if he doesn't retire Bonifacio. Duffy should be ready. Brandon Moss on deck.
I'd much rather bring Duffy in on a clean inning instead of bringing him in with runners in score position already.
Hit down the line, foul. The other game of note for the Twins, Toronto and Baltimore scoreless in the 7th inning. G had a 1-2-3 second inning, but from the outset, trouble here in the 3rd.
Just hadn't been able to get ahead in the count.
And now a walk, and the 9th man will come up, and it'll be against a different pitcher. Duffy will come in to pitch to Brandon Moss. And a difficult outing and a difficult inning for Dylan G. Had a 2-0 lead, but that's all gone. And now he'll leave with the Twins down by 3 and a runner at first and 2 away. Seven runs up on the board. Here's the Toyota getting us caught up.
It was a Polanco with a 2-run home run in the 1st inning off a hanging breaking ball. You got Locane with a ground ball up the middle to score Escobar. And you have Milky Cabrera with a double. Left center field gap, scoring a run, scoring Locane. And you have Moustakas, a 3-run shot in the 3rd inning to give the KC a 5-2 lead.
And G with 64 pitches thrown, 5 runs allowed so far. He's responsible for the runner at first, Bonifacio. And Duffy will try to get Brandon Moss and get the Twins off the field. Royals have batted around. And Duffy coming in for the 47th time.
Duffy last pitch on the 26th in Toronto. 1/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk.
Twins made some roster additions, some call-ups since it's September 1st. They include pitchers Buddy Boshears and Nick Turley.
position player, Nico Goodrum.
Yeah, happy for Nico. Here's the ball hit to center, and Granite chasing it and making the catch on the outfield grass. Good inning for the Royals, not so much for the Twins. Kansas City leads 5-2.
Run homer. The difference right now is the Twins come to bat in the third. It's time for our AARP get to know him. Nico Goodrum, up from AAA Rochester, where he had 13 home runs and 66 RBIs. Second round pick of the Twins way back in 2010. I talked to Nico today. He said he's played every position in the minors except catcher or pitcher, so he's moved around. When we talked to Paul Mauder about it, guys, he said it's really nice to have a guy on a bench like Nico that can do a lot of different things. It gives Mauder some versatility late in the game. Think about a pinch hitter or a pinch runner. This guy's basically played every position out there besides pitcher and catcher. He's excited to be here. Great friends with Byron Buxton, and had a lot of fun with Max Kepler in the clubhouse, who kind of videotaped the scrum with the media today, but he's very pumped about being up with the Twins right now.
Thank you very much. There you see Byron on the left, and Nico Goodrum, as Kevin said, can play a lot of different positions. Tap foul, and then the ball came up and hit Brian in the helmet and went. Maybe right now, here it is September 1st, but Paul still has only 4 bench players, and one of them, Buxton, we don't know about his availability. So it's nice having somebody on the bench that can play a bunch of different positions.
He's another Georgia boy.
Yeah.
But you know, right, Nico, he can play a lot of infield and outfield, and he's very good, you know, at all the positions that he plays. He's not a liability if you put him out there.
Right.
And you know, I think that's what he brings to this team. And late in the game, you need a guy to go to shortstop or third base or first base. He's your guy. You need a guy to go to center field or left field or right field. He can play all those positions, and that's why he's in the big leagues, because he's versatile. He's not relegated to one position where this is my position. No, he understood early on that if he wanted to make it to the big leagues, he needed to play multiple positions, and he's learned to do it.
Up high a little bit, and it's 1-2 to Dozier. Dozier cracked a double off the top of the center field fence and then scored on Polanco's home run. Twins had a 2-0 lead. Now they got some work to do. Off the glove of Moustakas, and Dozier has another hit. He'll take a big turn and hold up with a single, just out of his reach, deflecting off the very tip of his glove.
A breaking ball right here from Hamels, just floating over the middle of the plate, and was able to just get it over Moustakas' glove for a second hit of the ball game.
Mauer lined out to Kane in his first at bat. Up and away, ball one.
As we've seen over the last few weeks, the Twins have been playing such great baseball, and when they have gotten behind in a ball game, they're not the team that maybe put their head down. It's like, okay, the game is over. No, they've been fighting back when they've gotten behind in ball games. So it's safe to say this game is a long way from being over.
Outside 2-0.
That Saturday in Toronto where Toronto jumped off to a big lead and they kept coming back. Came up a little short, but it showed you that the fight and the resilience that this team has.
When you factor in that Hamill has struggled this year, particularly against the Twins. 2-0 to Mauer. And a strike.
And he struggled because of the same reason G struggled tonight, because he was behind in the count. 2-0 right there. Made a good pitch. Now it's 2-1. Still a very good hitter's count.
And over for strike two. Jorge Polanco on deck.
Looking at Jason Hamill's bio, and he said he attended Treasure Valley Community College. Where might that be? I could look it up.
I have no idea.
Okay, so I'll have to look it up.
Mauer flares it foul.
Treasure Valley Community College.
Of course, last year he was part of the tremendous Cubs story, helping the Cubs win their first World Championship in more than a century. Two and two. And now 3-2. Down 3 runs. We'll wonder whether the Twins will do anything with Dozier here.
Well, I can tell you one thing about Treasure Valley Community College. It's a long way, a very long way from here. It's out in Oregon.
Okay.
Looks like it's right on the Idaho-Oregon border.
Full count to Mauer. Dozier goes, and the pitch hit high and deep to left. Cabrera back and off the wall. He makes a wonderful barehanded play and fires it to third. But Mauer has a double, and the Twins are in business quickly in their half of the third. That ball kept slicing and carrying like so many of Joe's home runs to left, and it looked like it hit about halfway up on the wall.
It's a 3-2 pitch right here, breaking ball from Hamels, and as Joe Mauer does, he stayed on that ball and just crushed it to left field.
And now Polanco, who clobbered a 2-run home run in the first, got a 3-1 count and hammered one off the facing of the second deck. Strike on the outside corner. Royals have just handed Hamill a 3-run lead. The Twins are hungry to get it back. That's to left center. Cabrera chasing this back. Backpedaling. He'll make the catch. And both runners will move up. It's 5-3. And Polanco's driven in all 3 runs. Nice play by Mauer, advancing on the warning track fly ball to left. And Eddie Rosario will come up with a runner at third and 1 down.
It's a breaking ball right there to Polanco. He stayed on it. It was a little away from him. He did try to pull it. His last at bat on a home run, the breaking ball came into him. It was coming towards him, and he turned on it. That one was away. He hit that ball away. Nice sacrifice fly to get Dozier home. Another RBI and advance Joe Mauer to third base.
Tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. The Twins getting double digits in runs quite often this year, particularly in the month of August. Royals will play the infield back. Moustakas about even with the bag at third for Rosario. To the left field corner, and that'll twist foul. Rosario probably still stewing about his first inning at bat. He ended up striking out on a foul tip, but I think he felt he should have really driven that pitch that ended up being strike 3. 4 for 7 against Hamill. Ryan Buckner warming up. Chasing a high fastball, and it's 0-2.
Good fastball right there from Hamels. When he hit Salvador Perez's glove right where he put his glove at, he was able to drill that fastball just over top of Rosario's swing.
Now trying to make contact. Get Mauer in from third. Up around his shoulders. And he got a piece of it.
Looked like he tried to make the adjustment on this fastball because the fastball before was pretty much in the same spot.
Coming right into your living room there, almost. 0-2 again to Rosario.
Locking down in his zone right here, Rosario.
Dug out by Perez. Popped up short center field. And Kane with the catch. 2 down, and Mauer still at third, and that'll leave it to Escobar. Escobar with a fly to center his first time up.
It's probably the best sequence to a hitter that Hamels has had tonight. With a runner on third base, 1 out. He was able to make some really good pitches up in the zone to Rosario right there and get him hit a weak pop-up to short pop-up to center field.
Dave Island, the pitching coach, has had some issues this year with his staff. The veteran starting pitchers have really struggled in the second half. Up high, ball 1 to Escobar.
I had Dave Island as a pitching coach with the Yankees in 2008.
Oh.
Yep. Great communicator. No nonsense type of guy.
And now over for a strike, 1-1.
Good breaking ball right there by Hamels. Strike 1. I've been corrected. Hamill, not Hamels. Sorry.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. And breaking ball gets a swing and a miss. Escobar strikes out. Mauer left at third, but the Twins get one back in their half of the third inning. It's 5-3. And when we come back, Joe Nathan, who signed a one-day contract for the Twins to finish his career, will be our guest. of the inning.
Perfect pitch right there by Nathan.
Got him. 2 down. Check swing. Strike 3. 2 away. The breaking ball locks him up. Got him.
Way to make it exciting, Joe Nathan.
Twins had their best extended run of success starting in the 2001 season, and it went for 10 years. And for most of that time, the Twins had one of the best closers in the game, Joe Nathan. And we'll be hearing from Joe here shortly. First, Alcides Escobar leading off the 4th against Tyler Duffy, and there is strike 1. Joe signed a 1-year contract today. I mean, I guess technically now you're not eligible to pitch, though. I mean, rosters have expanded, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was asking if I could, borrow some spikes.
Well,
now that I got a jersey,
had to get into the bullpen in the 3rd inning here. At any rate, what was your motivation to finish your career as a Minnesota Twin here today?
Oh, I mean, it was such a special place when I was here. Even coming back as a visiting team after leaving here, it was still a special place. People were outstanding to me and the family, and I knew when it was time to hang them up that I would like to come back here. I was hoping for a chance to play here one more time, but coming back here and signing it one day was very special.
Got a lot of saves up here between you two guys.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do.
A lot of years in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Joe, what was talk about your relationship with Thad, because I had a chance to meet Thad a couple years ago, and just going by what everybody said about him leading up to it, I mean, he's incredible. I mean, he loves his guys, and he's funny, he's witty, smart business guy when it comes to doing baseball things. But talk about your relationship with that.
Yeah, over in Texas, when I went over to Texas, he was there with John Daniels, and just an easy guy to go up and talk to. Didn't matter who you were as a player. You can go up and talk to this guy. He'll talk shop as far as baseball. He'll talk shop as far as things that he sees from you and what you need to do to better yourself. So he's a guy that is very comfortable to go up and have a conversation with, and a lot of times that's not the case with guys in that position. So especially for the younger guys, you get to be a veteran guy, it becomes easier to go up and talk to the big wigs. But when you're a young guy, it's a pretty intimidating thing. So for me, it was nice to go over there and be able to sit down, at the end of a night, end of a game, have a meal. He's sitting next to you, and just sit there and have a casual conversation about whatever you want.
1-0 the count to Whitten Merrifield. Duffy striking out Alcides Escobar. Was pointed out during the press conference today, for those who didn't know, you were originally drafted as a shortstop by the Giants, and we saw you after the transition had been made already to a pitcher. But was that difficult at all for you, if not physically, mentally, to transition from being a hitter and a position player to a pitcher?
Yeah, that's why I actually walked away from the game for a year, pitch inside, and got over it. I went back to school, finished my education, and when I was getting close to doing that, gave the Giants a call and asked if I can give this pitching thing a try and see if it'll work out. But for me at the time, it was definitely tough to grasp me going to be a pitcher after playing position my whole life. I didn't see myself as a pitcher until it happened.
What did they see about you, other than maybe a batting average that wasn't as high as you would like, to make them think that you could succeed as a pitcher?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything. I had a tall, lanky body, a good arm from across the diamond. I think now that I look back, I mean, obviously they're smarter than me in that case, but I know I was a little stubborn. Fly out to right and 2 down.
See, you can do this, John.
Yeah, it's just tough jumping back and forth,
Hey, apart from the games, you were a witness to, in the clubhouse, some really unique things. You mentioned during the press conference today, game 163 and everything that happened. But the game at the Metrodome, where the season was over with, and 40,000 fans were at the Metrodome watching the Royals beat Was it the White Sox, I think, at the time?
Yes, I believe that's right. Yeah, and
I mean, that's something that doesn't happen very often.
No, I mean, that was crazy because we go up into the clubhouse and we're thinking, all right, let's watch this game up here, and then all of a sudden someone's like, hey, everybody's still here. And it was kind of like that scene from it was actually the Minnesota Twins too, from what is
Little Big League?
The Little Big League, where they're like, they're still here, and they're like, who? And they're like, everybody. So we got to come back down. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And you come back down, and we're watching on that awesome high def screen in the Metrodome up in the corner, and all of everybody there is watching this game, and it was really special.
It was Kansas City beating Detroit, and
yeah, because that actually forced the tie.
And I want to say Matt Stairs got a big home run for Kansas City. They picked him up in September. Had the Royals made the postseason, he wouldn't even have been eligible for the playoffs. But it was like 40,000 fans, watching the Twins game, then watching the game up on the video board, and then you guys did a victory lap, and it was just tremendous. Down and away, 2-2 to Lorenzo Cain. So what's next for Joe Nathan, do you think?
Oh man, well, we'll see what we want to do here. Now with the Twins organization moving forward, maybe obviously we'll come to Twins Fest and figure something out moving forward with them. And strike three, swinging, and this inning's coming to an end, so we're going to have to continue this conversation next half.
We'll have more from Joe Nathan in the bottom of the fourth. This afternoon at the ballpark in the press conference room, Joe Nathan's jersey, cleats on display with Joe signing a one-day contract, ceremonially reconnecting with the Minnesota Twins, putting the jersey on one more time. Had a chance to throw the ceremonial first ball toss to your old catcher Joe Mauer at the knees, I think.
Oh, it was definitely at the knees. It was actually like a softball arc, so I think we got it.
The get me over curveball.
That's right.
Strike one to Max Kepler. He'll be followed by Mitch Garver and Kenny Vargas.
But during the break, Nathan, we were talking about, we all had good fastballs, and I was saying, how did you learn your slider? Because, there's one thing having a slider that goes from right to left. Yours went straight down, and you said sometime they thought it was a slider. I mean, they thought it was a split ball.
Yep. And for me, when I first started, as a starter, I was basically fastball, curveball, a little show me changeup, and then had an injury, shoulder injury, 2000, and that's when I couldn't get anybody out coming back. My fastball wasn't there yet. I was still in the 80s, and my curveball was kind of lazy because my power wasn't there yet with the fastball. So just developed a little smaller breaking ball to get off the barrel, and then as my arm strength came back, that little slider became more of a power slider, closer to 90 miles an hour, and it started going straight down for me. So the injury was a blessing in disguise for me, and helped me find one of my better pitches throughout my career.
Because when we talk about the slider, man, it's like I said, I saw 2 sliders in the game that I thought was just absolutely incredible, and that was your slider and Brad Lidge, and that's because both of you guys' slider went straight down.
Yep. And that is, I mean, Lidge's slider, I loved his, and he threw it so often, and people knew he was going to throw it, and that's how you know it's a good pitch. When people are, it's kind of like Mariano and his cutter. Everyone knows what he's throwing, but people still can't hit it, and that was the same thing with Lidge's slider.
1-1 to Mitch Garver, and he spins it foul over the screen. 1-2. I remember when you had your elbow injury with the Twins in spring training. I had just talked with Harmon Killebrew, who was still coming to his spring training at the time. He said, "Wait till you see Joe Nathan pitch." He had seen one of your bullpen sessions or something like that, and the next day the elbow blew. Did you sense before the elbow blew that you were really throwing the ball harder and better than you'd ever had before?
I remember that day. I remember it was Harmon, Tony Olivo, I think Rod Carew was there. I had like all of them, and we were in, it was a bad day. It was a nasty day in Florida. It was raining, so I threw my bullpen in the cage, and I remember all of them around me, and I was like, man, I've never been this nervous for a spring training bullpen before. I was like, this is awesome. And I had one of my best bullpen sessions. I mean, I felt like I was throwing BBs, and spring training I never did that. People that don't know, in spring training I usually threw like 87 miles an hour, and everybody was like, what's going on? But this bullpen session, for some reason, just everything came out clean. Everything was working, and I was like, ooh, this is gonna be nice. I got my first outing the next day, and boom. And I've heard this from people though that have had the injury before, that they tend to throw harder right before it
Is that
blows
right?
out. Yeah, because it's like right at that tightest spot where it's like great whip, and then all of a sudden it goes on you. So it was.
How does it go?
At least that's what I'm imagining it sounded like when it happened.
I
know what it
some
felt
guys,
like.
Some guys say they feel it pop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Feel it pop.
No doubt.
Garver taps it to short. Escobar has it.
Remember 2015, Adam Ottavino,
Yep.
pitcher with the Rockies,
Yep.
and he was throwing 98
Oh yeah.
the night before he had the MRI that said he's going to need Tommy John surgery, and he was throwing fuel with that Bugs Bunny slider, and I'm like, how is it possible?
How'd you pick your walk-up music? Stand up and shout.
You know, watch the movie. I watched the movie Rockstar, and I heard that song, and I was like, this might sound good in the stadium, and gave it a shot and experimented with it, and it worked, and I just stuck with it.
Vargas with a swing and a miss. Hamill has set down 5 in a row now, trying to protect a 5-3 lead.
You were asked a question, you know, what did you want to do after, you know, in retirement?
Yep.
And you talked about, you know, being your son's travel ball coach, and what else? I mean, there's more to it. I mean, because baseball is always going to be a part of it. What else do you have in mind?
I got to work on my golf game too. So I've been doing that quite a bit, trying to get my golf game in order, especially with the guys I play with. It seems like they like to gamble. So if I don't pick up my golf game, I might be broke here soon. But no, I love the game of golf. I picked that up. The travel ball actually is super busy, and here we go, inning again. So I think we're about done. But
welcome back home.
I appreciate it. I'm getting cut off all the time.
Congratulations on the retirement.
Appreciate it.
Joe Nathan, Twins all-time saves leader, retiring as a Twin today. Baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by State Farm, here to help life go right with the home and auto protection you deserve. Good to see Joe Nathan again. Did such a great job. He was the best closer in Twins history. You could make that argument, of course. And if not for Mariano Rivera, he would have been the best closer in the American League. Strike one to Melky Cabrera. He's got a pair of doubles. Big one in the third inning that drove in a run. And he later scored on Moustakas' home run when the Royals scored all 5 of their runs. When you fall behind early, some good things have to happen if you're going to win the ball game, and one of them is already happening. Duffy got Moss to get the Twins off the field in the third. Then he had a 1-2-3-4. Missing outside, and it's 2-1. Obviously, you need to do some scoring, but it's a lot easier to get that part done if the pitcher does his job and puts a few zeros up on the board.
Right. He's came in here and stabilized the game a little bit, giving his team a chance to get back in it, and that's ultimately doing his job right there.
Third hit tonight for Melky Cabrera. This a single leading off the 5th inning. Cabrera took the bat about 2/3 of the way to first base for some reason. Hosmer's drawn a couple of walks. In each case, first base has been open, and Hosmer has filled it. If it was a strategy, it worked in the first inning because Perez lined out for the final out of the first inning. If it was a strategy in the third, I guess it backfired because although Perez was retired, Moustakas hit a 3-run home run. And Hosmer scored. Strike on the outside corner.
Good first pitch fastball right there for a strike from Duffy. Down and away, perfect spot. See if he can get Hosmer to roll over into a double play. 4-6-3 double play.
Wide and wild, 1-1.
I always enjoy watching Joe Nathan pitch. And to watch him do his breathing thing with his lip, throw his lips like that, it's just awesome. And that power slider, I mean, when you're in the big leagues, you have certain guys that you watch and you enjoy watching them pitch because their stuff is so elite. Right. And he was one of those guys that I was just blown away in awe over his slider. His slider had that downward motion, and guys always swung over the top of it, and he could throw it at any time. And he spoke about how Brandon Lidge, guys knew Brandon Lidge was going to throw his slider. They knew he was going to throw his slider, and they still couldn't hit it.
You and he had never overlapped. You were gone by the time that he arrived in Minnesota.
Right.
Big swing and a miss, and Hosmer strikes out for the first out of the 5th.
Great location on that fastball right there from Duffy, just up, just over Hosmer's swing. And now that's almost like a staple with 2 strikes in the big leagues now. The catcher's standing up, trying to get that high fastball. Guys swing straight through it all the time. Yeah, we overlap. We didn't overlap because that trade for he and Liriano and AJ, it happened maybe 2 weeks or maybe less than that before I signed with the Cubs as a free agent.
Oh, okay. So technically you were both part of the Twins organization, but you never played together.
Well, yeah, you can look at it that way, but I was a free agent once the 1st of November
right.
came, and I declared myself as a free agent.
1-0 to Perez.
That was a great trade because AJ played a long time in the big leagues. Liriano's probably close to 10 plus, or maybe 10 plus years in the big leagues, and Nathan had 16 years in the big league. That was a pretty good trade. It was 3 pretty good players, right?
It was a great trade for the Twins, and it was a horrible trade for the Giants. One of the worst in Giants history because they only got AJ for 1 year.
Because he beat him in arbitration.
And then he was dealt, I believe, to the White Sox. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-1. Meanwhile, Nathan was one of the best closers in the game. Liriano, before his elbow blew out in 2006, he may have won the Cy Young Award rather than Johan Santana that year. That's how good Liriano was. And then there was Boop Bonser, who was a serviceable back of the rotation guy. Not sure why we have a delay here with Perez swinging through a pitch. I don't know if Perez was on the disabled list with an intercostal strain. I hope he's not experiencing any of that again. 2-1. Big fly ball to very short left center field. And Polanco wants it. He makes the catch. You know, that's one thing that we've seen Polanco do, and it's not something to be taken for granted. Tom Kelly always said that Greg Gagne was the best shortstop the Twins had in his era at going back on pop-ups and taking charge. And we've seen Polanco do that. Now that ball was in the air a long time, but he ran back to the spot, got under it, and took control of the play.
I think he took a look around him, and he understands who's hitting, and he looked at the outfield and how deep they're playing.
Right.
So he feels like if he can get there and take that ball, outfielders have a long way to run if they're playing deep.
Dozier gathers in the second hop, and Duffy has another scoreless inning. Twins down by a couple as we go to the bottom of the fifth.
Beautiful night for Shannon from Little Falls. She's our big winner. She's taking home 100 scratch-off tickets. We're in the Minnesota State Lottery winner's circle. I don't know why you're so late to the party, but they're in the playoff hunt. It's your first Twins game. You're down here about 5 rows from the field. How much fun is this?
A lot of fun. Great fun. I'm having a blast.
And you're getting circled by one of my favorite players, LaTroy Hawkins. You're going to take home 100 scratch-off tickets. Big night, too, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Big night, awesome fun, and back to Little Falls, hoping for a Twins win and some scratch-off winners, guys.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Yeah, get to Little Falls from here. Probably the most direct route. Take 94 up to Clearwater, cut over to Clear Lake, take Highway 10 up. 1-0 to Granite, and a 2-hopper to Whit Merrifield. Granite is retired, 1 down. 7 in a row set down now by Jason Hamill, and now he'll start facing the Twins lineup for the 3rd time. Dozier with a couple of hits and a couple of runs scored. He doubled off the top of the center field fence in the first, scored on Polanco's home run, then singled, went to 3rd on Mauer's double, and scored on Polanco's warning track fly ball on the left.
Let's let Hamill get into a little groove right here. Settle down and throwing a lot of strikes, and making the Twins hitters hit his pitch.
Fouled back. 1 strike. Red Sox leading the Yankees 4-1. That game in the bottom of the 8th. If the Yankees lose and the Twins win, the two teams will be neck and neck for the top wild card spot. Tapper in front of Moustakas. 2 down, and that'll bring up Mauer.
A good sinker from Hamill right there.
Indians and Tigers had a split doubleheader. Cleveland won the first game 3-2, leading in the second game 10-0. It'll be a tough September for the Tigers with the trades that they've made. And the Indians are known in recent years for putting their foot on the gas in September. Here's Mauer, a line out to center and a double off the fence in left. And Cutter over for a strike.
Another first pitch strike for Hamels. 14 for 19.
75 pitches and 52 strikes, a strike percentage of 70. And another ground ball. Easy play for Merrifield. Came up and hit him in the heel of the glove. And now 9 in a row set down by Jason Hamill. He's got a 2-run lead, and you are watching Twins baseball presented by State Farm. Mountain Dew fans of the game, not the best seats in the world, but they're enjoying the ball game nonetheless. And it's the bottom third of the Kansas City lineup, starting with Jorge Bonifacio, and he takes ball 1 from Tyler Duffy. Bonifacio, Moss, and Escobar in the Kansas City 6th. Bonifacio with a strikeout and a walk. He was the last man that Dylan G faced before departing in the 3rd inning. Duffy's given up 1 hit and gotten 7 outs. Missing outside now, 3-0.
Duffy's done a great job so far. 2 1/3, 1 hit, like you said, 3 strikeouts, no walks. He's held the Kansas City, right where they were when he came in the game. 5 runs.
The problem is Jason Hamels held the Twins at 3 since Duffy came into the game too. As the Twins got one run in the bottom of the third, but Hamill settled down after a rocky start. 3-1. And called second strike. Rangers leading the Angels 6-2 bottom of the fourth. Tampa Bay leading Chicago 3-1 top of the seventh. And the Red Sox have now beaten the Yankees. Doug Fister with another good game for the Boston Red Sox. So the game is there for the Twins to pick up tonight. Rolled up the middle. It's the third Kansas City hit that's been hit right over the mound on the ground. And another leadoff hit for the Royals. Join Fox Sports North in the Wild for the breakaway 10K, 5K, and 1 mile run on Saturday, September 16th, benefiting the Herb Brooks Foundation. All participants receive a medal and are qualified to win 2 sweet tickets for the Wild Stars preseason game on September 30th. For details, visit foxsportsnorth.com/events. There's Brandon Moss, a bouncer to first and a fly to center.
It's a great double play guy right here.
And Duffy tickles the outside corner. One and one.
For 37 pitches, 22 strikes for Duffy, and it's 2 1/3 innings pitched so far.
Presley might be the next man up. And the Twins bullpen into the ball game after Duffy. On the line. Fouled. You look at this Kansas City lineup, and they are a little bit right-handed heavy. Cabrera's a switch hitter. Hosmer's a lefty. And Moustakas, but Royals with a 5-3 lead here.
A good breaking ball right here. Good curve ball.
Taken in the dirt. 2-2. Two to Brandon Moss. Very much strikeout prone, particularly this year. But he can do that. He's just hit his 5th home run of the year against the Twins. 18 on the year. A blast over the scoreboard in right. And it's 7-3. Have a couple of big home runs in this game, one with 2 men on and the other.
It's a fastball right there. Right up out over the plate, just a little away, and Moss is a pull guy, and he was able to put a very good swing on that and hit it over the scoreboard and right center field.
Duffy got the Twins through the 5th inning, but then immediate trouble here in the 6th with the leadoff single and follow-up home run, and Ryan Presley will come in. Sports North is presented by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. The hitters weren't the only ones who stepped up in August and led the Twins to a 20-win month. Ryan Presley and some other relief pitchers stepped up too. Presley, particularly in the second half of the month of August, was outstanding. 6 2/3 innings pitched in his last 5 appearances. Only 2 hits allowed, 2 walks allowed, no runs allowed. And you can see that opponent batting average. And it's still very good in a low whip. And they'll try to get the Twins through the 6th and maybe the 7th. Here's a fly ball on the left field line. Some big wind blowing the ball out towards left, but Rosario has room for the catch. 1 down.
Escobar wasn't waiting any time trying to get at Presley's first fastball.
Pretty good breeze blowing out to left, and that ball was hit high enough to get a little benefit from that wind blowing to left, but still in the ballpark. 1 down. See the flags normally blowing in from left field. And here in the last couple innings, they've really started blowing out. Here's Whit Merrifield.
Brandon Moss home run, estimated 407 feet.
Down low, ball 1. Now they got a picture of the flags, and you were rubbing your arms like you're cold.
It got a little nippy since the wind picked up in here. It's gotten a little nippy.
I've been to Gary, Indiana. I know it gets cold there. Your blood should be thinner than that.
Nah. I live in Texas, bro. I've been down in Texas 17 years. My blood changed.
2-0 to Whit Merrifield. Fouled away. Twins are going to have to outscore the Royals to win this ball game tonight. The Royals now with a 4-run lead. Twins haven't had to do that very often. Put up a big number to win a ball game. They lost a 10-9 ball game in Toronto. But for the most part, we can talk all we want about the hitting, but we showed you the graphic. The Twins pitching staff in August had an ERA of under 4. Last time the Twins won a big scoring ball game where they simply had to out-bludgeon the other team. Got to go back a ways. Still not there. Beat Seattle 20-7 once this year. Down and away. I guess the point is games like this where the opponents run up 7 early runs have been pretty few and far between.
That's because the pitchers are doing a great job. I think they had a 3.7, 3.45 ERA, something like that for the month, and that definitely helped with the 21 season.
Check swing. I think he went. Yep. And Merrifield's tag, 2 away. And that'll bring up Lorenzo Cain.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the account and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Now, other than reading the disclaimer, this is your last series that you'll be broadcasting. Have you enjoyed being up here?
I've had a blast, especially with you, Richard.
Well, I appreciate that, but I mean, you've done a great job, and it's been great, I think, for the Twins viewers to listen to you. I just want to make sure that you had a good time.
I had a great time, and it definitely gave me a chance to get to know you and how hard you work, because just like when the players playing the game, the fans think they just show up and play. They don't understand what goes into, you know, the day. Players get here at 1 o'clock and they're working from the time they get here, you know, to the last out of the game, and then some guys work out after the game. And just to see how hard you work and how much time you put into your profession, that makes you good at what you do. You know, I have to, you know, tip my hat to you, because you put in a lot of work and you're very good at your job.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Cain not enjoying his night's work right now. Looks like he may have fouled it above the pad.
Ouch.
Now, just as a reference point, that's about where Miguel Sano fouled the ball off his shin. Now there it looked like it got caned a little bit on the fleshy part in the calf area, and Miguel fouled his ball off 2 weeks ago off his shin bone. You know, with the new analytics in baseball, we measure exit velocity, and Sano's been off the charts, right? I mean, the ball jumps off his bat. Well, imagine then the exit velocity and a foul ball like that coming off of Sano's bat and hitting his shin bone, and maybe you got a better idea why it's been a couple weeks.
Right, and you look at Salvador Perez, and he and Locaine has this great relationship, and he's cracking up at him in the back.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
You see, I enjoyed when I saw a hitter, when I threw a fastball in and the hitter fouled the ball off his foot. I always went right back in there because I wanted to see it again. See if they can hit that ball off the same spot and what the reaction would be the second time.
Duffy almost screwed up the shift. Put his bare hand out, and the ball was hit right to Dozier. Right, excuse me, Presley. And he comes in and gets 3 outs rather quickly in the 6th.
Baseball double dip in Detroit for the first place team in the Central. Cleveland. Game number 1, 9th inning. Francisco Lindor with the RBI single in 9th. Cleveland escapes 3-2 in game 1, and they are up big in game number 2. Roberto Perez, his 4th home run of the year, made it 6-0 middle of the game. It's now 10-0 Cleveland late. If they win game 2, it'll be 9 consecutive wins, and they will move well clear of the Twins. That'll put them up 8 games in the division, guys. Cleveland red hot as we run into the final month and come down the stretch.
And they're putting a lot of heat on the Houston Astros for the best record in the American League, which would ensure home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And Houston not playing today, but they'll have a doubleheader of their own tomorrow at Minute Maid Park. 1-0 to Polanco. And a strike. 1-1.
And they're going to play in Houston tomorrow. How about that?
The players and staff from both the Mets and the Astros going throughout the community today, trying to help out, help encourage people who are so weary right now with the flooding and everything that's been going on there. And I commend both the Astros, it's their home city after all, but also the Mets, who agreed to not have a game today. There's Alex Gordon in left field. And Cabrera moving over to right. 1-2 to Polanco, leading off the Twins 6th.
I was in Houston in 08, in August of 08, when Hurricane Ike hit, and it wasn't nearly as bad as it is now. They shipped us off to Milwaukee to play a home game against the Chicago
That's right.
Cubs.
I remember that now. Yep.
And we got no hit by Carlos Zambrano that day, and I think we got one hit the next day by Ryan Dempster. I had some shirts made that we survived Ike, but Bud Selig killed us.
So I ain't gonna miss Polanco out on strikes, and Hamill, who had a rocky first 2 and fraction innings, has now retired 10 men in a row. 1 down, and now Rosario. You can help people affected by Hurricane Harvey by visiting redcross.org or texting the word Harvey to 90999, and by doing that you make a $10 donation. Your donation enables the Red Cross to prepare for, respond to, and help people recover from the disaster. Rosario with a tapper to second. 2 down.
Hamill has that breaking ball working. You know, strike the ball right now, and we're swinging at it, and he's getting a lot of ground outs.
And in his last start, he retired the first 16 batters, and then the Indians got to him. Now he's retired 11 in a row in the middle innings of this game. Escobar's 0 for 2, a fly ball to center and a strikeout. And we were talking about the Indians, and they are right behind the Astros for the best record. And if the Twins get one of the wild card spots and win the wild card game, whoever finishes with the best overall record in the American League would be the next opponent for the wild card game winner. So if the Twins get in and they beat, say, the Yankees or the Angels, whomever, then they would play the team with the best record of the division winners.
And right now it's the Houston Astros.
Right now it is Houston, and then they added a Cameron Maybin too. They got him on a waiver claim. That's not an insignificant pickup, but of course the big news late last night, Justin Verlander going to Houston. 3-0 to Polanco, or excuse me, to Escobar with Max Kepler on deck. Twins need to make a little noise here. Hamill has quieted them down. And there's a strike, 3-1. Mentioned that when the Twins faced Hamill right out of the chute on April 6th, he had some control problems, and he's really tightened up his control over the last couple of months. And that's hit weakly to Moustakas. Twins not doing anything against Hamill. He's really tied him up through 6 innings, and it's 7-3. Winning catcher. It's not very often player switches positions and wins a Gold Glove at a second position, but we honestly believe Joe should be the Gold Glove winner at first this year. He made a great play early in the ball game, getting a loss in the second inning. Nevertheless, the Royals are enjoying a 7-3 lead as we now go to the 7th inning. Presley got the 3 outs in the 6th, and now he'll face Cabrera, Hosmer, and Perez. Breaking ball over, strike 1. Cabrera's already got 3 hits tonight, 2 doubles and a single. Hit right to Brian Dozier. 1 away.
2 very nice breaking balls back to back right there to Melky Cabrera. You know, first one just a little up for a strike, and that one's looking down in the zone for him to beat it into the ground. To a ground ball to Dozier.
You can see on the left chest area of both the team's uniforms, yellow ribbons for childhood cancer awareness, yellow wristbands. It's an initiative from Major League Baseball to increase awareness of childhood cancer. Strike 1 to Eric Hosmer. He's walked a couple of times and struck out. Even the umpires in on the act. Big swing by Hosmer.
Just slider right there, just stayed around the middle of the plate, and Hosmer had a very good swing, pulled off just a little bit, and fouled that ball back. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing Presley throw that same pitch, but you know, I'm a fan of burying that breaking ball at the left-hand hitter's back foot.
Breaking ball slipped out of his hand. 1 and 2. Buddy Boshears, a September call-up, and he's getting loose next. A rocket right over the left heel of Ryan Presley into center field. Hosmer has his first hit with 1 out in the 7th.
That's not the ball you want to be trying to kick and deflect up the middle. That ball had breaking bones written all over it.
And now Salvador Perez. You never like to have your starter leave before the 5th inning or the 4th inning, or in this case before even the 3rd inning was over with. But where this game, if it had been played in August before the September call-ups, would have had an impact for a day or 2 after which the game was played. Twins added 2 more pitchers. There'll be more coming here over the course of September. It's a little bit easier for Paul Molitor to manage the aftermath of a short start like this now that we're into September. You saw Boshears warming up, Turley also with the ball club.
Got a few extra arms. And like you said, we're going to have more coming. Looks like our minor league system had a great year this year. You know, kudos to the coaches and you know all the managers. We've got those guys, you know, prepared to play every day and pushed them to the, you know, pushed them to be the best. You know, Chattanooga, I think they led all of minor league baseball in wins. They're going to the playoffs. Cedar Rapids, our A-ball team, Midwest League team, they're going to the playoffs. And I think Fort Myers is fighting right now, and Rochester's fighting to get into the playoffs. So you know, our minor league system has done a great job this year.
2 strikes to Perez. And foul to the screen.
When Locane fouled that ball off his foot, I'm wondering if he's thinking, ooh, I hope Perez foul one off his shin so I can get a chance to laugh at him.
Perez is a catcher. I think the nerve endings of
They're gone.
they're gone. Oh, 2.
Good fastball down and away right here, up in the strike zone.
And Perez swings and misses out, number 2, and with the left-handed batter Moustakas coming up, Twins will go to Buddy Boshiers.
It's a good high fastball at 98 miles an hour, just past Salvador Perez right there.
Fox Tracks presented by Carrier. So a pitching change here with the Twins trailing 7-3. In the 6th, and they're in control right now, 7-3. The Minnesota Twins have organized an online auction to support the American Red Cross in their efforts to assist the Houston and Texas Gulf Coast communities. You can bid on your favorite Twins game-worn autographed cleats. These are from the 4th of July against the Angels. And not only will all the proceeds from the auction go to support the American Red Cross, but the players will match every dollar donated to support the initiative. You can participate in the auction until Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time by visiting twinsbaseball.com/auction, or you can join the players in donating directly to the cause by visiting youcaring.com/twins for Texas. Buddy Boshiers had some good moments with the Twins before being sent down. Now he'll try to have a good moment here in getting Mike Moustakas. Strike on the outside corner.
Making his 28th appearance this year with a 5.16 ERA, 29 and 2/3 innings pitched.
Spent the last couple of weeks of August in Rochester. Had a couple of rough outings against the Indians before his demotion. Foul back, 2 strikes.
The left-hand hitters are hitting 186 off of Buddy Boshiers, and right-hand hitters, kind of a different story, hitting 319.
Mentioned Gary Gaetti played a couple of years with the Royals. One year he had 35 home runs in 1995. The franchise record is 36, set by Steve Bye-Bye Balboni, and now Mike Moustakas.
I like that name, Bye-Bye Balboni.
Garver's throw in time to get him. Hosmer took off, and Garver threw a strike. And we head to the home half of the 7th. It's 7-3 Kansas City. A lot of home runs in August, 50 of them, most of the Twins have ever hit in August. Brian Dozier led the way with 9, Eddie Rosario, Byron Buxton with 8, Kepler with 7, Polanco with 6. That's our State Farm home run combination, showing you the powerful month of August. And Kepler will lead things off. He takes ball 1. Looked like the Twins might send Jason Hamill to an early shower. But after Mauer's double in the 3rd, he's not giving up a base runner.
He's settled in pretty nicely so far.
Checked his swing. He'll take it as a hit. Kepler will round first and dig for second. And he's in with an excuse me double.
He knew exactly what he was doing right there. Exactly. He was working on that in bat practice, going to opposite field.
Well, he has 2 hits tonight. They both went to the opposite field. His 2nd inning single went that way as well.
Another high fastball. He was able to excuse me swing for a stand-up double.
Well, maybe that'll shake Hamill up a little bit. At least he's got a pitch from the stretch again. He'll face Mitch Garver, who's 0 for 2. They are in the 10th inning in Baltimore, scoreless between the Blue Jays and the Orioles.
The perfect time for the rookie to get his first home run.
Takes a strike. Showed off a strong arm. Throwing out Eric Hosmer, trying to steal in the top half of this inning.
It was a good pitch to throw on because it was up already and came out and unleashed a cannon.
I don't know how you felt as a pitcher, but as a fan, as a viewer, I've always liked big catchers. I mean, guys with big frames like Garver.
You know what? I've had both. I've had, you know, LaCroix. I've had Rosario in Colorado. You know, short guys. And
Kepler will get away trying to advance on the ground ball, slowly hit to Escobar. So Kepler to 3rd base.
Got lucky right there.
And now Vargas will hit.
I just never really. It didn't matter whether they're big or small. It always mattered how athletic they were because I wanted them to be able to move and drop down and be able to block balls and things like that. Nothing worse than being a big old guy back there, but a slug. Can't move.
Vargas hasn't had a good swing yet against Hamill. Royals are conceding a run. In fact, their 2nd baseman Merrifield is playing about 30 feet on the outfield grass. Up and away, ball 1. Vargas has hit a couple of weak pop-ups to Moustakas, one in fair territory and the other one in foul territory when Hamill sawed off his bat.
They're going to continue to pitch him up in the zone.
Brandon Marr getting loose.
Close to his body to take away some of his power.
Vargas, at least up here, has always been a streaky hitter. And he's going through kind of an unproductive streak right now. That can change.
One swing. One swing at a bat.
2-1. Perez wants Hamill to shake off there. Is that what that was all about? Two and one to Vargas. Half swing, 2-2. That cutter really seems to be eating up Vargas. When he's made contact, it's been very weak contact. That time a very tentative swing.
The second at bat is the cutter that shattered his bat with the lazy pop up to Moustakas at 3rd base. There's a cutter we're talking about, just barreling in on on Vargas' hands. By the time he thinks about swinging, it's just a little too late, and rightfully so. He doesn't want to swing at that ball. Call that a knuckle sandwich.
A base hit up the middle. And Vargas puts it in play, drives in a run. And now Granite will come up with Vargas aboard. As the designated hitter, we'll see whether the Twins make a move here with Vargas at first. It's just the 7th inning. And Yost is going to come and perhaps make a pitching change. And he is going to make the change.
Breaking ball, he just left over the middle of the plate and up. Gave Vargas a chance. I thought Whit Middlefield was going to chase that ball down and throw Vargas out at first base.
And Brandon Marr will be the next Kansas City pitcher, with the Twins getting at least one back here in the 7th. Great place to spend time with the people who are important to you. Groups of 25 or more are eligible for discounts on tickets, and per ticket fees are eliminated. Arrange your group of 25 plus today. Visit twinsbaseball.com/groups. Ask about a Twins Target Field group outing. Hard throwing, erratic Brandon Marr comes out of the Kansas City bullpen. And Granite takes a fastball, strike 1. An ERA of just about 6.
Making his 59th appearance on the season.
Missing inside, 1-1. Since coming over from the Padres, Marr with 14 innings, 9 walks, and a couple of home runs.
Think we can get a Mauer matchup?
Might. This inning would be nice.
I'm with you on that.
2-1 now to Granite. Granite with a couple of ground balls. One back to the mound. And one to the second baseman. Squaring and taking ball 3. With Dozier on deck. Twins would love to have 2 men aboard.
Base hit ball 4 right here, Zach.
Chopper to short. They'll get 1, and the ball juggled, and they call the out with the ball being juggled on the exchange. Now here comes Paul Molitor to discuss it with Marty Foster. Marty might be saying, well, if you want to challenge it, challenge it. Boy, I don't know. The ball was in the glove, but was the ball ever secured?
Right. It looked like it was rattling around in his glove.
If there's an angle that can be had from left field, that might be the one that will determine. And look it up here. I'm not sure that ball or that call can be reviewed. Vargas is out, and Granite reaches on a fielder's choice.
It's another issue I have with replay. Get to pick and choose. Major League Baseball pick and choose what plays can be replayed. I don't get that. I really don't. If you're going to review plays, I think you have to review all of them, especially when they determine whether a guy's safe or out at the base.
One strike to Dozier and a pop-up foul, 2 strikes.
Wow, pumping it in there at 98 miles an hour.
He throws hard. That's why, you know, the Mariners kept waiting for him to refine his control. Padres too, and he's had a little bit of an issue with that in Kansas City. Off the plate.
Reminds me of the closer for Kansas City back when I was in the division. 02, 03. Was it McDonald? Big guy?
Yeah.
McDougal.
1-2. Called third strike, and Dozier flips the bat in the air. It's a 7th inning where the Twins score 1 but leave 1. And it's 7-4.
Mall of America Studio Sports Update. The Twins series with their Central Division rival continues on Saturday. Join us here on Fox Sports North when the Twins take on the Kansas City Royals. Our coverage begins at 5:30 p.m. for the Twins and KC.
Twins trying to extend their home winning streak to 8 games with the Royals lead by 3. And Buddy Bouchiers, who was pitching to Moustakas when Garver threw out Hosmer, will pitch to Moustakas again with a fresh count. Outside, ball 1.
We get to talk about what Buddy Bouchiers features. 88 to 92 mile an hour fastball and a very good curveball, which is his best pitch.
Fly to left. Rosario back. And on the warning track, makes the catch, 1 away.
Ball's carrying to left field, huh?
Well, that wind, again, you don't see it blowing out to left very often. but blowing in through the plaza and out towards left. Maybe that's something that the Twins can exploit here in the final couple innings, trying to make up for a 3-run deficit. One down, and now it'll be Alex Gordon hitting in what was Bonifacio's spot.
Hold him right there and keep chipping away at it, chipping away.
Ball one. Gordon having an awful year at the plate, hitting just .199.
He's a better hitter than that.
After the World Series championship year of 2015, Gordon was a free agent. He and the Royals came to terms. Last year wasn't very good. He was hurt for a good chunk of it. It's not just the batting average. He's hitting .199. His slugging percentage is .286. His on base percentage .284. That is not acceptable for a corner outfield. And his great defense is being sacrificed now because the Royals can't afford to have him in their lineup right now. 2-1 from Boshiers to Gordon. Hits it right into the shift. Polanco's right behind the second base bag. 2 down.
I'm sure that plays a big role into why he's hitting the .199. Hit the ball right up the middle, right to the second baseman or the shortstop.
MLB.TV Premium is back better than ever. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout, other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. 2 down, and now Brandon Moss. Pulled to Mauer. And Buddy Boshiers has a quick 1-2-3 top of the 8th. You're watching Twins baseball presented by State Farm.
Stay with us directly after this baseball game for Twins Live, presented by Central Link. We'll take a look at how the Royals were able to pile up the runs in this game. We'll also take a look at the Polanco power surge. It continues. A big home run. Tonight we'll bring you inside the manager's office to hear from Paul Molitor as he reflects on this game and sets up the next 2 games in this critical series for both the Twins and the Royals, gentlemen.
All right, thank you. Mike Minor will come out of the Kansas City bullpen, their first left-handed reliever of the series. They have 3 others out there. And Joe Mauer will lead things off in the 8th. Mauer, Polanco, and Rosario. A lefty, a switch hitter, and a lefty. And then another switch hitter and another lefty. Minor might be left out there for a while.
Minor struck out the last 13 of 23 batters he's faced.
And he hits the outside corner at 96.
It's a nice, easy 96.
There is no such thing. 96 is hard.
Well, we're talking about release and max effort on the body. Looks like he's just playing catch.
1-1.
Well, there's a light 96 and a heavy 96.
Okay.
No.
1-1. And now 2-1. The Royal bullpen, obviously not what it was a couple of years ago when they won the World Series.
Look at that. Nice. Sitting on his back leg. Gets the nice rotation out over his front foot. No effort. Looks nice and fluid.
Missed the outside corner, and it's 3-1. Polanco on deck. Minor not one to walk a bunch of people. 16 walks in 64 innings. He'll have to throw a strike to Mauer. And spun foul. 3-2. Joe Mauer has drastically cut back on his strikeouts. And I know I'm bringing that up, and he's got 2 strikes, and he might very well strike out. But I'm just saying, he has struck out just 66 times this year. That's one of the reasons his batting average has rebounded to nearly 300. On the ground to Escobar. And Mauer retired one away. And before Polanco's at bat, our Grand Casino story of the game.
Polanco started his scoring off with a 2-run shot in the first inning to give the Minnesota Twins a 2-0 lead. Moustakas 3-run shot in the 3rd inning to give the Kansas City Royals a 5-2 lead. And Brandon Moss 2-run shot in the 6th to give the Royals a 7-3 lead.
Twins got one back. Still have some work to do and running out of outs. One down here in the 8th. Here is Polanco. Drove in the first 3 runs for the Twins. The home run in the 1st and a sacrifice fly in the 3rd.
Polanco's 2 for 5 against Minor with 2 doubles.
1 strike. And now a ball. Texas has opened up an 8-4 lead on the Angels. They're now in the bottom of the 11th in Camden Yards, scoreless. I'll bet that's never happened in that ballpark. They've been playing there for what, 25 years now. I bet they've never had a scoreless game in the 11th. 2-1. You can see rain starting to fall here. Part of the weather system that's been sweeping through North and South Dakota, headed our way.
Talk about that Toronto-Baltimore score. And
3-1.
Both very powerful lineups.
Yeah.
0-0. They say you see something different in baseball every day.
Polanco trying to get aboard. Up the middle, a base hit. 2 for 3 tonight. The average keeps climbing. And he's aboard with a 1-out single, and that'll bring up Rosario.
Fastball up and in. Pitch before it and throw a fastball right over the middle of the plate. Didn't try to do a lot with it. Hit it right back up the middle.
Rosario is 0 for 3 against a righty, or a right-handed pitcher. It was Jason Hamill. Now he'll take his first swings against a lefty.
Lefty on lefty matchup, and Rosario hadn't fared too well against Minor. He's 0 for 5 with 3 punch outs against him.
Came into the game hitting .295 against righties, .288 against lefties. 1-0. Breaking ball. Merrifield fields and throws to Hosmer for out number 2. Polanco up a base, but now there are 2 gone. Gonna right off the end of the bat, and that'll bring up Escobar. Escobar was 0 for 3. Hitting left-handed. He'll try his luck right-handed now. Oh for 3 with a fly to center, a strikeout, and a pop up to third. Inside, ball 1.
The last inning I talked about how good that Buddy Bushires has been against lefties. Minor has been a tick better than that. They hit 138 lefties off of Minors, 11 for 80.
That's not very good.
No.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. I don't know if you could say the Royals went all in, but they had such a good month of July. They traded some prospects to bring in Marr, Trevor Cahill, Melky Cabrera, and they had a miserable month of August. Inside, and it's 2-1. Miners falling behind everybody here in the 8th inning.
You know, when you struggle like they did, you know, one night I'm sure it was the pitching, one night it was the hitting. And Moreland, I mean, Minor before All-Star break, he was 5-1 with a 1.87. Since the break, he's 0-5 with a 5.23 ERA. 18 outings since the All-Star break.
2-1. Swing and a miss. Escobar now with a 2-2 count.
2 good changeups right there from Minor. Got Escobar all out front. Same arm speed as his fastball. Very hard. Very, very hard to stay back on a pitch like that.
Twins looking for a 2-out hit from Escobar. Breaking ball gets him again. And Perez completes the strikeout, throwing to Hosmer. Twins leave Polanco at second. Head to the 9th, down by 3.
Royals. Love Your Melon Night, September the 14th. A limited number of special ticket packages include a game ticket and Twins Love Your Melon beanie. Every ticket sold goes to support Love Your Melons program to donate a hat to every child battling cancer in the United States. For details and tickets, visit twinsbaseball.com/Love Your Melon.
Good opportunity for John Curtis to come in here, get some work. He hasn't pitched on his homestand yet. His last outing came back on the 26th at Toronto. Gave up a couple of earned runs. 2 outings, one of them good, the other one not so good. And so a chance for Curtis to put a 0 up on the board here in the top of the ninth. Maybe pick up his first major league win.
His last outing out in Toronto, he had a little, bad luck. Donaldson hit that blooper. We had the infield in. He hit that blooper, down the right field line. That the infield was playing straight up. That's a routine out. And then the ball bounced away from Kepler.
Yep. Oh, and 2 LCD's Escobar.
A chance to see his power slider right here.
That's a fastball at 96. A lot to play for this year, and we certainly don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But when you think of what the Twins bullpen could look like next year, remembering that Trevor May's coming back from Tommy John surgery, this one poked, and a little more hard luck for John Curtis with Escobar just lunging to make contact, and he pokes a single to left.
Just a good piece of hitting by a veteran hitter. Guy's seen a lot of sliders in his career, and he was able to butt in the dugout, but had enough bat to reach that and get him a nice base hit right there. You're right, and we got some guys that I think they leapfrogged a couple other guys. We had Jake Reed, who was on the fast track, and you had Chagua that was on the fast track. And I know Chagua has been hurt this year. I saw Reed pitch a couple weeks ago in Rochester, and he was lights out when I saw him. I mean, he threw the ball extremely well that night.
Batter is Whit Merrifield with Escobar at first and nobody out. Pop up
jam,
and Polanco, with the rain falling in his eyes, makes the catch, 1 down.
Good fastball in right there, and on the hands of Whit Merrifield. Nice little pop up.
And you told me about Curtis when he was still in Double-A. That ball a foot inside. Merrifield weakly popped it up.
Because he's been on the rise all year. I mean, he started off in Double-A, had a great year, went to Triple-A and backed that up, and warranted a promotion to the big leagues.
Fouled off of Garver and back to the screen. 1 strike. Rain picking up in intensity here. Kelvin Herrera. People surprised that he's still with the Royals, but they played so well in July they didn't want to go into sell mode, and so they kept Herrera. He just hasn't had the opportunity to save many games lately.
His fastball and changeup, makes him top echelon of closers. He's set up. He's a closer. He's a huge part of that World Series championship.
26 saves on the year, but an ERA of in the high 3s. Seven pitches for Curtis, 6 strikes. Popped up to short right field. Kepler trots under it. 2 away.
It's a good fastball right there by Curtis. Just ate up Locaine. You can hear Locaine a little disgusted in himself. He thought he could have put a better swing on that ball.
This week on Vikings Beyond the Gridiron, see how a Vikings vet is dealing with the tragedy from Hurricane Harvey in his home state. Plus, meet a fan who cheers on his favorite team from half a globe away, and see how the organization is finding a new way to make a big impact in our community. Vikings Beyond the Gridiron tonight at 10:30 p.m. after Twins Live postgame on Fox Sports North. Melky Cabrera with a feeble swing. He hasn't had many of those tonight. He's already got 3 hits. Started the game in left field, moved to right. 4 hits for Melky Cabrera. And that'll bring up Hosmer with 2 men aboard.
You know, throughout my career, it's like you always see one guy that always, I don't care what team you're on, when you faced him, he always had a good game. And I'm not on either team. And I'm watching the game, and Melky's having a good game. The kid he's always swing the bat extremely well.
Paulo Orlando's going to pitch run for him here in the 9th inning.
Paulo Orlando.
Just added to the roster today as a September call-up. 2 on, 2 out for Hosmer. Singled his last time up. He's also drawn a couple of walks.
Last year was in Brazil and had a chance to go to the, our ambassador's house in Rio de Janeiro, and Paulo and his wife were at the game. At the house also, and had a chance to meet him for the first time in Brazil. Had never met him in the United States.
Well, he's from Brazil, and Yan Gomes is from Brazil, the Cleveland catcher. 2-0. Curtis trying to wrap this inning up here and strand a couple of runners.
Andres Rienzo.
Yeah, I was trying to think of his name.
Rienzo's
You're right. Thank you
Brazil.
for that. There's a strike, 2-1.
Mariners has a player, pitcher, Thiago Vieira. He's from Brazil also. He made his major league debut a couple weeks ago. You probably saw the highlight. He's the guy who threw the warming up, and the umpire had his back to him, and he threw the ball like close to the umpire, and he just turned around and looked at him like, really?
2-2. The Pirates had a player earlier this year from South Africa. Twins, of course, have Max Kepler from Germany. Baseball is becoming very much a global sport. 2-2. Curtis trying to put away a really good left-handed hitter in Eric Hosmer.
Fastball up.
Fouled back. Hosmer targeting the plaza with that swing.
Trying to hit the eye of the target center over there, huh?
Two and two. .96 miles per hour, but up a little bit, and now it's a full count, and the runners will leave early.
That's the same pitch that Duffy struck him out on a couple innings ago, his last at bat. So that's a very good pitch right there from Curtis. See if he can repeat that and see if Hosmer can not swing at that pitch back-to-back pitches.
Foul away. I like what Salvador Perez does. He's on the top step of the dugout. So many hitters go beyond the on-deck circle and get even closer to home plate, leaving them, in my book, very vulnerable to a really serious injury and a foul ball. And there's Perez at least doubling the distance from home plate to where he's standing by being almost in the dugout.
No, he's not afraid of getting hit by the ball. He's a catcher, right? Strike three.
Got him. Curtis singeing the inside corner with a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, stranding a couple of runners. We'll see what the Twins have in mind at the bottom of the ninth. Yesterday, the Twins scored 2 runs in their last at bat to walk off the White Sox. They'll need to do better than that here tonight. They're down 3. Bottom of the 9th coming up with the Kansas City closer, who has had some problems against the Twins this year. And he'll face Kepler, Garver, and Vargas. They are the scheduled batters. We'll see how Herrera does here. 26 out of 29 in save opportunities. Paulo Orlando in right field. And Kepler to lead things off. He's got 2 opposite field hits, a single on a full swing in the 2nd and a double on a check swing in the 7th.
Kelvin Herrera's 54th game, 49 2/3 innings pitch, 48 hits.
Strike 1. He's pitched to the Twins in 5 prior games, 5 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned runs allowed. So they've had their share of success and then some against Herrera this year. And Kepler takes low, 1-1. Twins have a bench of Adrianza, Buxton, Jimenez, and Goodrum. And regarding Buxton, we don't know his availability. He was going to take some swings off a tee late this afternoon. See how the hand fell. And Merrifield boots a ground ball. Went to his left. Kepler might get a hit, but that's a play that Merrifield should have made. And that'll bring up Garver. It is an error charged to Merrifield. Merrifield committing his 9th error of the year. And we'll see if the Twins can take advantage of the base runner and the extra out they'll get this inning. Garver is 0 for 3. A fly ball to center, 2 ground balls to short. And the rain really coming down. And Garver takes strike 1. Garver can reach, and then the power threat, Vargas on deck. Popped up right side. Merrifield with the catch, 1 down. And Vargas will come up. Rolled a single to center his last time up.
Fastball right down the middle right there to Garver. Unable to get on top of that ball and drive it in the gap somewhere.
Vargas drove in a run with his ground ball single. Big swing and a miss at 99 miles per hour.
I think every night in Major League Baseball, there's somebody throwing 98 to 100 miles an hour. I remember back when 93, 94 was like, whoa, I mean, he's throwing the ball. We won't ever see anybody throw harder than that.
0-2 for Vargas. Late on another hard fastball.
And Herrera throws that hard, 98, 99 miles an hour. Then he has the Bugs Bunny changeup. He'll try to finish him off with another fastball down and away.
And it's chopped. Merrifield has essentially the same play he had a few minutes ago. 2 down. Kepler to second. And now Granite will try to keep the game alive.
See right there on that play, Merrifield made sure he got over there and got in front of that ball and went down with 2 hands instead of reach for it with just his glove hand.
Granite hitless in the ball game. And Salvador Perez to the mound. If Granite can keep the game alive, Dozier will bat. Adrianza ready for anything in the event he is asked.
The rain's coming down, just kind of steady right now.
Strike on the outside corner.
I didn't mind how hot it was. Didn't mind how cold it was. I hated to pitch in the rain. Hated to pitch in the rain.
1-1.
Not to worry about having a good feel for the ball, keeping it dry, keeping your hands dry. You got to worry about where you're landing at on the mound, being stable, so you don't, pull a hamstring or pull a groin or something like that. I did not like pitching in wet conditions.
Almost as if on cue, Herrera went back to scrape his cleats clean on the mat behind the pitching rubber. Granite checks, and it's 2-1.
He's very close to balking. Like he came to a complete stop right there on that pitch.
Kepler at second. He reached on a Merrifield error. And then a pop up to Merrifield and another ground ball. Three and one. Dozier hoping for a chance with 2 men aboard.
Granite's last at bat, he had to count 3-1 and a ground ball to the shortstop.
Granite takes a walk, and Dozier will have his chance. It's been a week and a half since Bryant hit a home run. It was in Chicago. And not only has he hit a lot of home runs, he has had a flair for the dramatic. We'll see if he can deliver here with the Twins down to their last out. Strike one. An interesting matchup because Herrera, you can talk about the changeup, but his best pitch is the fastball.
Yeah, when you're throwing that hard, your best pitch has to be your fastball. But his changeup complements his fastball because, he's able to have a feel to throw a pitch that's 14, 15 miles an hour slower than his fastball.
This guy hunts fastballs.
Yes, he does. But he hunting this one. He got to catch up with it.
1 strike to Brian Dozier. That hit him. Brushed his forearm, and now Mauer will have a chance with the tying run aboard. Bases loaded.
It's a breaking ball right there that Escobar didn't get on top of and just hung around, and they clipped Dozier in the elbow.
Thankfully, a glancing blow. Dave Island to the mound. Mauer has hit the ball hard twice tonight. In the first inning, he lined to center. Then he doubled off the fence and left. Buxton will run for Dozier. So Buxton being used here. And in reality, there are 3 runners in scoring position because Buxton's at first.
How exciting would that be if Mauer hit a walk-off grand slam right here? This stadium would go nuts.
Well, if he hits another double, I like the Twins' chances of tying it up.
I'm picking a walk-off.
Low, ball 1.
Mauer had his first walk-off home run, walk-off hit this year or something. Walk-off home run, opposite field earlier in the season.
1-0. 2-0. Joe will probably take this 2-0 pitch. It is a strike, 2-1. Twins hoping to give the Royals a taste of their own medicine, putting in some speed in the late innings. It was Gerard Dyson, it was Terrence Gore, and now the Twins have put Buxton at first, hoping for a Mauer double. Grounder up the middle, a base hit. Kepler will score. Granite to third will score, and Buxton to third base, and the tying run is 90 feet away.
They just refuse to give up, Richard. It's good to see that team fights and they keep fighting.
And the Twins will ask Polanco to deliver one more time. Polanco 2 for 3, 3 runs batted in. The Twins walked off the White Sox yesterday, now trying to at least tie the Royals in the ninth. Up and away. Of course, all of this was created by the Merrifield error that started the inning.
Which makes all these runs unearned for Mr. Herrera.
Buxton, the fastest man in the league at third base. 2-0. And Perez will make another trip to the mound. So will Hosmer and Moustakas. Polanco with a walk-off sacrifice fly back in May against the Kansas City Royals.
Let's not forget a ball in the dirt, and you have the speedy Byron Buxton at third base. So he's going to have to keep everything in front of him. He's going to have to block every ball.
You saw the ball strike ratio, and then remember, one of those balls actually hit Brian Dozier. To Jorge Polanco. 3-0. Rosario on deck. And now the trainer is coming out with Ned Yost.
See any sign that would tell us that
Scott Alexander is warming up, and if Herrera comes out because of an injury, he'll have as much time as he needs, and Herrera will come out of the ball game with a 3-0 count, having thrown 22 pitches.
I'd like to know what happened. I didn't see any facial expressions.
Several times he went back behind the mound, and I hope he didn't do anything, in terms of landing or slipping on the mound, but several times he went back to get his spikes clean. We're going to take a break, and Scott Alexander now will be asked to get the save with the Twins seriously threatening the Kansas City lead. Herrera will stay in the dugout and watch what he hopes will be a quick conclusion to the game.
What happened to Herrera right there when he turned around and turned his back to home plate? He kind of like stretched out his forearm and then started shaking his arm out, like maybe caught a cramp in his forearm or he felt something in his elbow.
Alexander has one save this year. He's put together a pretty good year. The tying run is 90 feet away. And he'll be asked to get the last out of the 9th inning with the go-ahead run, the winning run at first base. Alexander says he wants 3 more. Polanco started this plate appearance as a left-handed batter. He'll finish it, whatever happens, as a right-hander. And the count is 3-0.
Year-old Scott Alexander, Santa Rosa, California, Sonoma State. Orioles 6th-round pick, 2010.
See where the Royals play now with a right-handed batter up. Moustakas is playing a deeper third base. That might allow Buxton a little bit more leeway and a lead off a third. Polanco singled as a right-handed batter in the 8th inning.
Flushed the ball in the dirt.
2 wild pitches for Alexander on the year. Strike call. A few days ago, Polanco homered from both sides of the plate. Back in the 1st inning, he homered as a left-handed batter. Ball 4, they're loaded up, and the winning run now is in scoring position, and Rosario will step in against the lefty. Perez to the mound. Moustakas to the mound. Rosario on the day 0 for 4.
Rosario's 2 for 4 with 2 singles against Scott Alexander. And that walk is charged to Herrera.
Eighth man to bat here in the 9th inning. Strike on the outside corner. Fouled away, 0-2. We told you before, he's hit lefties almost as well as righties this year. Trying to get his biggest hit against a lefty this year. Down and away, 1-2. Saw Alexander's numbers, 22 walks in 56 innings. Got it on strike. And the Twins comeback comes up 1 hit short. And Alexander gets the save in relief of Herrera. And the final score, Anthony, Royals 7, Twins 6. The late inning comeback just came up short tonight.
And the Twins' home winning streak is snapped at 7 with this one-run loss to the Royals. We'll show you how Kansas City piled them up early in the third. We'll hear from Paul Molitor and preview the rest of the series next on Twins Live.